Hello everyone, it's Raz, also known as Razz-A-Mataz. Today I'm going to be analyzing the movie UglyDolls and making changes to it. My video is very inspired by the one you see on screen right now, so please go watch that after you watch this. Now everyone, on with the show! First off, I just want to talk about the movie in general. I love this movie. It's like literally my favorite movie. And yeah, there are a lot of problems with it, but will I admit that? Hell no! So if you forget the plot of the movie, it's basically like this group of like 5 or something, I always forget, go to this place called the Institute of Perfection. Here they meet the antagonist, Lou, which I am currently making an outfit for on screen. Now, here's where things sometimes get a little bit dicey. So the antagonist, Lou, has a hatred for these ugly dolls, and he asks these 3 girls that basically work for him to kidnap the mayor of Uglyville, which is the town that these ugly dolls live in. So these ugly dolls are working to go to the big world, where it's the biggest achievement you can have as a doll. It's where you get a child to love you and take care of you, the basic stuff a toy would want, I guess. So, plot twist, Lou knows the mayor as an old childhood quote-unquote friend, So the mayor, by the way, his name is Ox, reveals to the main 5 that they are rejects. They are not supposed to be real dolls. They aren't supposed to be alive, basically. This gives everyone in Uglyville an identity crisis. But luckily, there is a character named Mandy, and she's been with the main 5 the entire time. She wears glasses, and glasses are imperfect, so Lou hates her, basically. Anyways, Mandy encourages Moxie to go back to the Institute of Perfection and complete the final phase, which is called the Gauntlet. They sing a little song, and then they get kidnapped by the 3 girls that work for Lou. I forgot to mention how they get from Uglyville to the Institute of Perfection is this huge pipe, and it's really pipe. So the girlies are kidnapping, they're doing their whole thing, they're like, ooh, yes, we're slaying. The 3 girls all of a sudden run into Lou halfway down the pipe. Secretly, he has a really evil plan. So they see Lou, and he points to this thing beside him where he has ripped off a bunch of wood with his weak twig arms, and it leads to this recycling chute that basically burns everything inside of it. The next course of action that he decided to do was push Mandy and Moxie down this trash chute so they would be perfect. He wanted to recycle them so their parts would be perfect and stuff. It's a long story. I'm really tired. As I was saying, they end up getting saved. Mandy and Moxie, they're like, woo, yeah, we're alive. We didn't die. After they get saved, they rally up the whole town of Uglyville. They march down to the Institute of Perfection, and they say that they're gonna run the gauntlet. Lou is obviously really mad about this. He's like, ugh, I thought I got rid of you. So he decides that he's gonna run the gauntlet so he can stop them from making it to the big world. Lou has to lose because he's the antagonist and the protagonist win and blah 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 blah. But the reasoning behind Lou failing was quite the plot twister when I had first watched this movie. Lou reveals that he's a prototype and that he has been stuck in the Institute of Perfection ever since he was created. Almost everyone is surprised and awestruck by this news. I mean, they were shaken to their very soul. It was a big deal. Lou then decides to destroy the portal that lets people leave the Institute of Perfection. He gets defeated, because he has to, because he's the antagonist and whatever. Moxie, by the way, is brutal. She's like, does anyone have any suggestions for what we should do to him? And some of them were literal threats. So I think she should kind of perish. I don't know. It's just an idea. After that, everyone fixes the portal, everyone gets to do their whole thing, they get to go to the big world, and life is good. But it's really not. I'm gonna start making my fixes and analyses and whatever now, so buckle up, bro! I want to start off by picking apart the UglyDolls first, because they're basically the main characters. I don't like Moxie. I'm just gonna come out and say it. She is one of, if not the worst protagonists I've ever seen. And I am being harsh for this, because this is, again, my favorite movie. So, here's the thing. Moxie is literally a gaslighter and a gatekeep. She gaslights her friends into coming with her and guilt trips them. She's like, guys, can we please go down this pipe? Like, we could die, but still. One thing that I really wish they had fixed is the fact that Moxie's motive isn't great. Like, I wish she had a better motive to go down that pipe rather than, I want to see what's on the end and if I can find myself a child to love me and take care of me. I also wish that she had a motive for going back, because the only thing that was her motive was, I gotta complete the gauntlet. The other UglyDolls I don't really have a problem with. It's just Moxie is not a good protagonist. I don't like her. The other ones could literally jump in a ditch and I would not care. They are useless to the plot in my opinion. Also, Lucky Bot in that end scene could not have beaten up Lou, even if he tried to. Another thing I would really try to fix is the backstory behind Lou and Ox's friendship. I just wish that they would add more lore and intensity to the backstory. I know that this is a children's movie, but that doesn't mean you have to go super low-key on it, you know? The person that I mentioned at the beginning of the video brought up some really good points in their video about how Lou is a preserved person because of Ox wanting to leave, and how Lou has a disorder. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but go watch the video and you'll figure it out, you know? But what the person was trying to say was that Lou has a very good stage presence. They say that multiple times in the video. And how you don't really see him outside of that stage presence. You only see him at like orientation, quote unquote, and on stage doing his little song. You don't really see him outside of those things. It's so odd to me sometimes. Also, I know I keep talking about the video that I brought up in the beginning, but that person mainly talked about how Lou needed a different ending. And that is one of the fixes I would have made if I made the movie. Lou certainly should have gotten a different ending. Like, it just had to be something that didn't end with him being defeated, so to say. It just needed to be something that was more of like a close off, like them helping him figure out his mental health issues. Obviously, again, it's a children's movie, and sometimes you can't do that because adults suck and they don't like acknowledging mental health. I'm getting way too into this. I'm very sorry. I just needed like a close off that would kind of cement the fact that he has a redemption arc. He would get a redemption arc if there was a second movie, which there probably won't ever be. As I was saying, all we need is the fact that he's capable of being redeemed, capable of becoming a new person, or in this case, doll. All my strifes and stuff are mainly with Lou and Moxie. Like, they're the only characters that I really felt needed a bit more closure. A few plot things I want to fix are, again, the motives. Sometimes the motives aren't clear enough. At times, it just felt like the motives weren't exactly what they needed to be. I felt like Moxie should have been shown the recycling by Ox, not Lou. Ox should have showed her that, and that should have motivated her to go and prove herself to prove that she's actually capable of being something other than trash. Also, sometimes Lou's motive wasn't clear enough. I would totally fix that. I would give him probably the same motive, just make it a lot cooler, sort of. It's hard to speak when it's 8:53 p.m. and you have to go to bed in like 2 hours. I'm having so much fun. Can't you hear it in my voice? The reason why I think Lou's motive is unclear sometimes is because the creators lost sight of the fact that his motive was because Ox left him for the big world, sort of, in a way, I guess. And he wanted to like have Ox there forever, and he wanted a friend that wasn't supposed to leave him. Like, he's a prototype. He can't leave where he is. He's in purgatory. I'm going to mention the video at the beginning one last time. A change that the person had in mind was that Lou would get hurt during the final battle. This would give a small window of time for Lucky Bat to basically defeat Lou. This would have added more flavor, more je ne sais quoi to the story. It would have added a lot more action, in my opinion, too. All I'm saying is that the person in the video that I mentioned brought up a lot of good points, and this movie is far from perfect, but it will always be my favorite movie, deep down inside. Thank you so much for listening to me rant about a movie that almost nobody has watched and almost nobody will remember. But anyways, this is Razz-A-Mataz, logging off.